Hello and welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers. I am your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I am Corwin Heller.
And today we're just going to be kind of going over what's been going on in baseball. And now that the first month of the season is concluded, the last few days of March and April, which I think, that gets lumped together because March doesn't count. So we'll just do a little progress report on where everyone's at. A lot changes very fast at this point in the season, but with us having discussed the NFL to a point of exhaustion and the NHL playoffs still underway with us not having too much to say about it at this point, we figured why not go over where things are currently at in the MLB.
Perfect. I'm all in. Let's do it. Kick us off.
Where do you want to start with this, Corwin? You want to start with some standings?
Yeah, let's do standings.
All right. So let me pull up the standings on MLB's app. If anyone here out there does not have MLB at Bat, it is a wonderful app, and I love it. All right. AL East, just because it's always at the top. We have Tampa Bay 20-11, followed by the Yankees at 17-13, Toronto at 14-17, Boston at 14-18, and Baltimore at 11-21. And if those numbers sound weird, it's because, as usual, we're recording the Friday before this airs, so Friday, May 3rd, and the games have not yet commenced. It's 5:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Corwin, what do you think of these standings for the AL East?
Absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah, this is outside of the last place team. This is comical.
Yeah, I mean, the Rays being in first is hilarious. The Red Sox being in fourth is even funnier, and the Blue Jays not being absolutely, hard is a nice surprise.
Yeah, they were 14. They were 500 up until this recent series with the Angels when they got swept, which is actually kind of cool. But then they got swept, and here we are. Yeah. What do you think about? I know I am Yankees fan number one over here, but what do you think about the fact that the Triple A to Double A team they're trotting out is managed over 500 records so far on a West Coast trip, nonetheless?
It makes me really happy that I picked them to win the World Series this year because they look fucking incredible compared to, because the fact that they're putting out a AAA team, they look incredible. Like, they're going to be brutal when they're healthy.
Yeah, this is one of the grittiest teams I think I've ever watched. It's been so frustrating.
Grit.
A lot of grit. A lot of lunch pail dudes out there,
Brett Gardner's.
Lot of Brett Gardners, dude. It's a team of Brett Gardner. They all need to shave their head in solidarity, but then they'd look like skinheads.
Real gym rat type of team,
Yeah, first one's in, last one's out. Deceptively speedy. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. Yeah, real heart and hustle guys. Real character guys. So that's surprising. There's not too much to say about it other than they seem to be getting by. Pitching's been fine. Tampa Bay, I'm not super surprised. Typically, pitching-heavy teams or pitching-dependent teams tend to start off the season better because everyone's healthy, and then when people stop being so healthy, it kind of goes off the rails. Like the Mets last season when they started off like 10-1. Also, the Red Sox last season when they started off 17-2. Granted, the Red Sox had much better hitting as well, but their pitching last season was weirdly phenomenal. So I'm not this year, as we'll get into. So I'm not expecting 645 win percent is way too high to last an entire season, but I don't think it's it's so. I think they're for real. Is what I'm trying to say. I think they're for real, but I don't think that they're this for real.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, and I'm with you 100%.
What do you think about Boston? Do you think? Sorry,
I just want to say about
go ahead
the
with the
Rays.
Rays. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't give you a chance. Go ahead.
I am so upset with how well Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows have been doing so far this season. It's
I figured you might say
maddening.
this. Yeah.
It like kills me every time I like turn on one of the Rays game and see Glasnow either killing people with his heater or throwing up ridiculous curveballs. I mean, Meadows has cooled down since the start of the season, but he was on fire. And Chris Archer, man, I want to like the guy, but like that trade was so ridiculous and unnecessary that like it's just hard to like him.
Yeah.
He's on the IL.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he just got added.
That sucks. What do you think about Boston being as slow to the start of the season as they have been?
I think that to start off the whole Chris Sale rumors, like is he basically dying? Like what's going on with him? Like what's going on with the Red Sox pitching was super overblown. And then like 25 more games happened, and now it's kind of like, yeah, seriously, like what's going on with their pitching? Because no one is performing well. I don't know.
Well, I mean, a lot of AL East fans, especially Yankees fans, but several AL East fans said that like it looked like everyone on the Red Sox was just having a career year last year, and a lot of Red Sox fans were like, "Who are you fucking jealous?" And I maintain that everyone on the Red Sox had a career year last year. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, you have people who are notoriously bad, or at least notoriously subpar, performing at an above average level. What
game do you have?
Chris Sale leads no game actually. I'm just looking at Chris Sale's stats, and I want to read them to you.
Gotcha.
Chris Sale leads. I know he's 0-5. I didn't realize that 5 losses was the most in baseball right now.
Yeah,
he leads the league in losses. That is rough. What do you think his
stats now.
Well, I'm gonna pull him up. I'm gonna read them to you anyway. What do you think his ERA is?
Is it below 8 again?
It is below 8.
All right. Is it below 7?
It is below 7.
I can guarantee it's definitely not going to be below 8, so I'll say 6.5.
6.3. Yeah, 6.3. He doesn't actually lead the league in anything. I was wondering if it would. I guess if it was like the highest, it wouldn't show up either. But 30 innings pitched, he's allowed 32 hits and 10 walks. So in 30 innings pitched, he's allowed 42 runners on via his own devices. That's good for a 1.4 whip. He's letting up
not good
9.6 home runs per 9. Or is that hit?
That's
sorry. That's hits per 9. Hits per 9. My bad. Home run per 9, 2.1, which is also a career high for him.
Still not good.
Nope. That's real fucking bad. 3 walks per 9, which isn't crazy for most pitchers, but it's pretty bad for him. And then 9.6 strikeouts per 9 is still like fine. That's good.
What's his FIP? That's what I want to know.
5.22, which is bad. That's pretty bad.
That's not a good sign.
His ERA plus in 2018 was 207. ERA plus is 100 is league average. Every point above that means that you are that much percent better than average. So a 150 ERA plus means that you are 50% better than your average starting pitcher, or pitcher in general, I should say, not just starter. This season, Chris Sale is so far pitching to a 73 ERA plus, meaning he is 27% worse than a replacement level pitcher. And thus far, even though this isn't meant to be a counting stat, he is at negative 0.2 wins above replacement on the season. This is not a good year from Chris Sale so far.
Does Chris Davis have a higher WAR than Chris Sale right now?
Yes, he does.
Chris Davis no, he doesn't. He has negative 0.5.
Yeah, that's higher.
What did Sale have? 0.2?
Negative 0.8.
Oh, shit.
Oh, sorry. No, negative 0.2. My bad. My bad. I don't know why I thought...
Okay.
No, you were right. I don't know why I thought negative 0.8. Yeah, it's negative 0.2. So, wow, they are neck and neck right there.
Jesus Christ. So there's a... Pitcher List has this fantasy league called Worst Ball. And basically, it's the exact opposite of what you normally have fantasy baseball is. So basically, you get points for how poorly a player does, whether it's like striking out a ton. The lowest batting average gets the most points. You get points for like errors and stuff. Chris Davis went first overall, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, shocker.
And he was dropped in a baseball league about the worst players, and they were complaining about not drafting Chris Sale. Baseball's
That's sad,
sport, man. Hard to not be romantic about it,
Where do you see these AL East standings 1 month from now at the conclusion of May?
I think it'll be Yankees, Rays, Boston, Toronto, and then the Orioles.
Yeah, it's interesting. I could see everyone changing positions, and I could see it being literally exactly this. Yeah. Tampa, it's going to depend on how their pitching holds up for another month. Not saying that anyone's going to get hurt or anything, but scouting reports on pitchers tend to get around pretty quickly, especially when you have a fuck ton of relievers who typically specialize in specific pitches. Like it's easy to have a scouting report on a guy that throws 2 pitches, whereas it's harder to have a scouting report on a guy that throws 6 pitches, which is why relievers tend to have a shorter lifespan in the MLB. The Yankees have to get healthy, and if they don't, this month's going to suck a fat wad of cock for them. So they got to figure that they should be getting guys back, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how Toronto does. They've been talking about shedding some of their pitching in favor of prospects, which if that happens, they will get worse. If not, with the addition of Vlad Jr., they could see a spark of offensive production, so I could see them kind of going either way. And Boston's such a conundrum, I can't make a good prediction on them. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen with them.
I'm real disappointed in Vlad so far. I thought he was going to be Mike Trout incarnate. He is not.
Well, you got to give people... look what everyone was saying about Yohan Moncada last season,
Right. Well, he was really bad for 2 years.
He was never really bad. He was
had
unlucky.
A 35% strikeout rate.
But the thing is, this is actually interesting, is he led the league in called strike threes by a comical amount. And so I think the guys at Fangraphs did a look into it, and he had the most borderline strikes called against him in all of MLB. And so everyone was saying, this strikeout rate is bad, but it looks like he's also getting fucked for no reason. And so this year his strikeout rate went way down, and they've been doing a dive into, how many borderline strikes is he getting? And it's not nearly as many. So, it makes his plate discipline look significantly better and gives him better counts to actually work with. So it's been kind of interesting, the Yohan Moncada situation.
You gotta love the advanced stats.
Dude, I fucking love this shit. I love this shit. You're not getting
that kind of shit with baseball commentary.
Actually, I've heard it from baseball. Some booths, man. Some booths are all about it. Not the Royals booth, I'll tell you that. Speaking of the AL Central, our next one. Currently, we have Minnesota leading the division at 19-10, followed by Cleveland at 16-13, the White Sox at 14-15, Detroit at 13-15, and Kansas City at 11-21. Worse than the Royals. Tied with the Orioles, not Royals, Orioles. Yeah, what do you think about that?
The Twins have been on fire this month.
Yes, they have.
And the Indians have been really bad. But still only 3 games back is, that's a good place to be, especially in the Central. The White Sox, the Tigers, and the Royals, they're not great. Tim Anderson has been great for the White Sox. Boyd has been great for the Tigers. Mondesi's been great for the Royals. But, it's only a handful of good players between those 3 teams.
I think the White Sox could put something together.
They're just so young.
They are young. I think I have to listen back to what our predictions were. But they've been looking good enough. I could definitely see them being... Instead of a 65-win team, maybe a 75, 80-win team. I think that they could float around 500 for a season. I'm not sure they will ever be competitive this year, but I could see them have a Pirates year. Like the Pirates last year had a surprisingly good year at 82-80, which is not great, but that's a fine season.
It's a pretty great season for the Pirates,
Yeah, I could see the Royals. God damn, it's the third time I've done this.
The White Sox.
The White Sox having that kind of season.
Yeah, I could absolutely see them being, winning, like you said, 82 games like the Pirates did. If their young guys really spark. But we're doing this off of what we see right now. And,
very
they're
subject
still
to
playing
change.
like young guys.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, look what
Anderson's
Detroit did.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Anderson's not going to be able to keep that up.
Oh no, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's lasting because I love Tim Anderson, and I hope he bat flips every time he does anything. I hope he strikes out and flips his bat. I want it all.
I drafted him in fantasy last year, and it was just one season too early because he did nothing for me. But
I'm glad he put it together. He's always been a fun dude. What do you? I'm not sure I buy the Twins all the way yet. I definitely think that they're a good team, and they'll probably, if they can capitalize on Corey Kluber's IL stint, they could probably put enough cushion between them and the Indians that they can like ride out the division, kind of like the Indians did last season. I'm not sure how much I like their pitching and their overall depth, although that could change when Miguel Sano comes up, which I think he's going to in a couple of weeks after his after some rehab games. So they're in an interesting spot. I think that they're good. I'm just not sure where I'm at with them for a full season yet.
I mean, with how hurt the Indians are, they don't really have to be crazy good to really take this division. I mean, Kluber and Clev are still going to be out for quite a while. Our outfield is an absolute joke. Ramirez has thankfully kind of caught up a little bit, and Lindor has been great. But we just there's just not a lot of depth on the Indians at all.
Well, that was the issue going into the offseason.
Exactly. So I don't know if they can get healthy and stay healthy, it'll be a fun race. If not, I think the Twins take it.
I think that's fair. Let's go over to the West. We got Houston leading the West at 18-14. Seattle right behind them at 18-15. Texas 14-15. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at 15-17. And last place, the Oakland Athletics at 14-19. Do you got anything for this guy?
I mean, the Astros are really good, and
Shocker.
That's what we expected. Athletics pitching sucks really bad, which is what we expected. Not much of a shocker there either. I mean, the Mariners are still playing much better than I expected them to, and I mean, we'll see how they hold up. But I think the Astros can pretty easily take this one this year.
I think it's the only reason Seattle is still this. No, let me rephrase that. Seattle's bad, and we got fooled because they played a lot of games early. So they're 18-15 right now. A few weeks ago they were 13-2.
Yeah, they've not been good lately.
In those 2 weeks, they have won 5 games and lost 13 of them. That's really fucking bad. So this is the Seattle Mariners we've been expecting. Seattle's trying to win every game like 15-10, and it's not going well anymore. So this is less than a surprise, I guess. Yeah, this division is pretty much exactly what it was. Oakland, I didn't expect to be in last place. I kind of expected Texas to be there. But a lot of time for that shit to change. I really don't give a shit about this division. I think everyone assumed it was going to be Houston, followed by whoever you like the most for whatever reason you like them. So... Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really like Houston followed by your favorite jersey color. And
you know what?
Yep.
I bet the Angels are going to take this division once Ohtani comes back and he starts averaging like 1 home run a game. It's going to happen.
Hang on to that, bud. You're going to need something, I guess. Let's go to the National League, where the Phillies are currently leading the NL East at 17-13, followed by the Mets at 16-15, Atlanta at 15-16, the Washington Nationals at 13-17, and the Miami Marlins at 9-21, the worst record in baseball. What do you think?
Yeah,
shock. Here we are.
I don't know. I mean, I like I liked the Phillies to start out the year. I'm very surprised with how poorly the Nationals have been playing. The Marlins are hilariously bad as always. And then Mets pitching, and hopefully can start to figure it out because the offense has been there.
The Mets just been inconsistent because the offense has been there some games and then just decimated the other. Like they got shut out by the Rays minus a Noah Syndergaard home run the other day. Like that was just weird.
That was like yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah.
I'm so glad Syndergaard had a good game because he's had a rough season.
Yeah, fuck him. I think he's kind of an asshole.
He's almost definitely an asshole, but I'll
He's
still
just-
root for the guy.
I don't root for him. I think he's a cocky motherfucker. I don't like him.
So you don't like him for the very reason I don't like Mike Messina?
But I mean, I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I know. It's just like it's completely flipped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. The turning point for me was the whole don't my lat's not torn. I can go throw this game.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he tore his lat even more and just fucked his own team. So fucking selfish, man. So
Reverse
fucking
Matt
selfish. Yeah, they fuck him. I'm a little bit surprised that the Mets aren't doing better right now. I'm kind of a little bit surprised that like the top 4 teams in the NL East aren't doing better right now. But I think they've just played each other a fuck ton. So I guess
they've been
those
beating each other up real good.
Yeah, I guess those wins and losses have to go somewhere, and they've just been relatively evenly distributed. I mean, we're a full month into the season, and the 4th place team is only 4 games out, which like isn't that much. It's I know that the Nationals are sporting a .433 win percent, but with only 4 games away from being 500, which is also the same distance that the Phillies are from being 500, 4 losses. It's harder. This is what we expected the division to be. Tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just can't wait to watch more Phillies Nationals games throughout the season.
Yeah, they've been fun. Who do you see anyone pulling away within this next month?
I'd like to see the Phillies do it, especially with Aaron Nola figuring things out and working it out. That offense still pumping. I'd like to see the Phillies pull away.
It's tough to say. I don't think the Mets will, only because their pitching's just been so wildly inconsistent, and they still haven't proven the ability to hit at home. And until they do that, I can't pick them as a pull-away candidate. But what they're doing right now seems fine, mildly above 500. The Phillies is probably the right call there. I'd like to see Atlanta bounce back a little bit because that team's fun, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a team to watch just with how young and talented that pitching staff is. Like, once they get, more and more experience like young players do and work out their kinks, I think they could be a devastating lineup, especially the next couple of years.
So the Marlins won 8 games in the month of March and April, right? They have 9 wins. They got one of them the other day in May. How many wins? Over under 8 wins for the month of May.
Ooh, I'm going to say... over under 8 wins for the month of May. I'm going to take the over just because there's still like 27 days left and they already have 1.
Yeah. So they're already almost there.
That and Caleb Smith is a superstar, and I love him. He's been pitching so well. Just pitch him 8 times in the next 27 days. Just do it.
Oh, the CC Sabathia treatment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry for anyone's earbuds during our last episode. I apologize. I scared myself listening to it at work. So, one of my coworkers, I got to the part where he got the 3,000 strikeout, and I shouted, and I had to turn my volume down really quick. And one of my coworkers IM'd me, "Are you okay?" It was actually about something completely different, but I was just like, "Fuck!" Like, how do I explain this to someone I work with? All right, let's just move on to the NL Central here. We got the St. Louis Cardinals leading the division at 20-12, followed by the Chicago Cubs at 17-12, the Milwaukee Brewers at 17-16, the Pittsburgh, I was about to say Steelers, Pirates at 14-14, and the Cincinnati Reds at 13-18.
14 wins.
And 14 losses.
Well,
Well, give me some takes on this division here, pal.
I mean, kind of like the NL East, it's just like it's been a bloodbath between everybody. Like the Reds are only 6.5 games back, which is not a lot, but they have been real bad. Pirates pitching has kind of fallen apart after they started out phenomenally and kind of fell behind. Their offense is just not good, so I don't see them getting much better until their pitching does. The Brewers are actually kind of surprising. I thought they'd be doing much better, especially with Christian Yelich, who's soon going to be on the IR for a broken back from carrying that team.
I thought you were serious at the start of that, and I was like, no!
Honestly, for the Pirates' sake, if only, but I don't ever want to see a player get hurt, especially one at that caliber.
Yeah, especially one where you see the highlights every day.
Yeah. The Cubs are the Cubs, and they're just not exciting and not fun to watch, in my opinion, and I don't really care about them. So
hey, Kyle Hendricks threw a Maddox today.
I watched that game.
That's always
fun. It was impressive, yeah. 81 pitches. That's wild.
God, so good.
Yeah. What's up?
Go ahead.
I was just going to move on, but you can go ahead.
Well, what were you going to... I got it. All right. Yeah, the first two teams here, St. Louis and Chicago, I think is about what we expected. I think we expected those two teams to be good. I know not everyone, but there was some doubt with the Cubs as to how they'd be performing, since Pacoda had them as being a 79-win team, I think, after all the trades were said and done. So, but this is about what I expected. Milwaukee, I think, is surprising on the surface, but not overly surprising when you dig into it, because they got rather fortunate last season. They were one of the teams to adopt the whole bullpenning thing and the whole starter thing, but the problem is if your pitchers don't perform, then your offense has to cover up for it, and their offense is good, but it's tough when your pitching doesn't meet that every outing, and like I said, pitching dependent teams can have quick turns, so it's not surprising that they're only one game over 500 for a stretch, although I would expect them to get much better. Like, I would expect this to just be I expect this to be their bottom. I wouldn't expect them to be a sub 500 team for any long stretch of time. I'd expect them to improve from here. But, they just added Gio Gonzalez, so they have more starting pitching, because that was one of their problems. So, I think they're gonna improve. Pittsburgh, I think you hit the nail on the fucking head. And Cincinnati has Nick Senzel up now.
Hey, yo.
That's all they got. Tonight. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go, Cincinnati. They have that guy who waved at the Mets fans. That's fun.
I just want to say how much I love the MLB for when Vlad Guerrero got called up and now Nick Senzel got called up. Both of those games were the free games of the day.
They know what they're doing.
I love it. Yeah,
they really do.
I don't know why I'm so surprised. Maybe just because the NFL tries so hard to fuck people over, but was surprised that they would be that fan friendly.
Now, if only they would get rid of those blackout restrictions.
Right? Ugh, it drives me nuts.
Who do you see leading this division at the end of a month?
I'm moving back to Jersey in 2 days. I get to watch the Pirates again.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. So who do you think is going to be taking this division or leading this division at the end of the month?
The Cardinals still. I think they're the best all-around team.
I think that's fair.
They're not really weak in any areas, in my opinion. That, and I don't really see the Cubs swooping in and taking this. The Brewers, I think, have the ability to go on a hot streak a little bit more than the Cubs would. So I could see them at least closing the gap by a good amount. But I definitely still think the Cardinals are going to have this lead for the vast majority of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Cards and Cubs, I could see either one. I don't know what their schedules look like, so this could just come down to a strength of schedule conversation. Since the Cubs are 3 wins back, no losses back, and 3 games in hand. So, I mean, in theory, they could just make up the games and cover the wins from just games played. But yeah, I mean, we have 3 very good. These the 1, 2, and 3 in this division right now are exactly who we actually every single place in the standings right now is exactly how I would have picked the standings. So I'm not surprised here. Yeah.
So I have a non sequitur question.
Shoot, buddy.
That is completely off topic, just because I was thinking about the Cardinals and in turn Matt Carpenter, who is my least favorite player in Major League Baseball, thanks to his just super acute ability to kill the Pirates in any, high stress situation.
Fair.
So I just want to know, who is your least favorite player in Major League Baseball?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, it was David Ortiz for the longest time.
With good reason.
Yeah, because the thing is, he was so great at feeding into the rivalry that I completely respect Boston fans for fucking loving him, but right. I think they would also respect me for fucking hating him. Right now, though, Mookie's really fucking good, but I'm not sure I hate him because he's not very hateable.
He's so likable.
He's likable. I still dislike him because he's a Red Sox. Right. I don't hate him though. It seems too harsh. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's a good fucking question. Fuck. I don't know. Oh, maybe No, I have no fucking clue. Who do I actively root against in the MLB? I don't know. That's a good fucking question.
For some reason, I could see you not liking Bryce Harper. I don't know why.
I don't have any strong. He spent his whole career in the National League. I don't fucking care about him.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Maybe the Royals pitching staff. Maybe Brad Keller now. Fuck Brad Keller.
I mean, there's not a ton of hateable guys in MLB, I guess.
I mean, I dislike everyone on the Red Sox, but maybe especially Andrew Benintendi. I especially dislike. I don't know. He's got some kind of smug fucking face on him.
I feel like in the NFL, there's a ton of just super unlikable players that you kind of have to tolerate because they're on your team or things like that.
The NFL lets you have a personality. The MLB doesn't have much personality to it, which is what they're trying to fix.
We need some good heels in this league.
Oh, that's what Bryce Harper does, bowing and shit.
True. Him, Yasiel Puig.
Love Yasiel Puig.
Yeah. Joey Votto. Don't know how I could forget him.
He's like a heel that no one takes seriously though. Everyone knows he's just fucking around.
He's like that drunk uncle that's you know what? During Thanksgiving, just let him do his thing. Yeah,
just let him get it out there. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I'll think about it and I'll get back to you.
Also, it's on just the topic of heels and that kind of shit. Did you see the Felipe Vasquez celebration
that was great.
After that strikeout?
That was wonderful.
I love that.
So
if you
much
haven't
fun.
seen it, you should look up the Felipe Vasquez celebration after a strikeout this past week. Basically, these fans were trying to distract him, and they were making stupid faces and doing stupid hand motions. And then the very next pitch, he strikes out the final batter, and immediately looks towards those fans and just makes this stupid fucking face right back at him. It was perfect.
And if you want to see the worst strikeout celebration by a closer, look up when Aroldis Chapman did a somersault tumble after a strikeout for a save. It's the least masculine thing I've ever seen Aroldis Chapman do, who I think takes some pride in being a tough guy. I think he did 2 somersaults. It's really fucking bad. It's not good. It's when he was on the Reds. I think Dusty Baker was the manager still. It's fucking hilarious. Are you looking it up?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to search it for.
Just look up Aroldis Chapman somersault.
I see a thumbnail of Aroldis Chapman upside down.
You always add an N to his name where there is not
Aroldis.
one. Why make this harder for yourself?
I don't know. It's something I just picked up at one point, and now I just can't.
It's just a habit now.
Quit it. Yeah. Let me turn my volume off.
It's probably a good call.
Right.
Probably a good
Staring
call.
down the batter. 1-2 count. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. He's in his setup. This is great. And what the fuck? What? What the fuck is that?
I know, right? Like, it's
Like,
literally childish. What?
like, it wasn't impressive.
No,
There
not
was
at
no
all.
way that would ever be impressive. It wasn't cool. Like, what was the point of that?
I think this was like, is there a year on the YouTube video?
Ooh, June 26th, 2012.
Because I want to say that was his first season in the majors, and he was just like really excited about it. I'm
That
looking
could
him
be it.
up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came over right. No, 2010 was his first year in the majors. Then I just have no explanation for it, honestly. It was his first All-Star season. But yeah, I don't know, man. I never watched Red games, so I don't know if there was a context around that particular save, but it was not a good look, man.
Oh, well.
Oh well,
He's,
indeed.
He's improved since then. I'll give him that.
Well, apparently, Dusty Baker chewed him the fuck out for doing that shit.
Yeah.
So
I imagine.
anyway, we have one division left. Let's get through it. We have the NL West currently being led by the LA Dodgers at 20-13, followed by the Arizona Diamondbacks at 18-13, then the San Diego Padres at 18-14, the Colorado Rockies at 15-17, and the San Francisco, not 49ers, Giants at 13-18. What do you think about this guy?
The Dodgers are doing what we expected the Dodgers to do. The Rockies have kind of not been what we expected them, and the Diamondbacks have been exactly what we expected them not to do.
Yeah.
Just win.
Well, I think they're currently. I think they've been what the Mariners were to start the season. They're winning a lot of their games by letting up a bunch of runs, but scoring even more of them. Which I guess if you have to be, I think they'll eventually be sub 500. I think, but doesn't matter right now since they are above it. But if you have to be a mediocre team, I'd rather lose every game 10-12 than like 1-0. So
Exactly.
fuck it, enjoy it while it lasts. I'm not sure it's going to, but yeah, have at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super glad the Padres are doing well too. I kind of expected them to really struggle early on and then find their footing, but they've actually been performing real well.
Well, their pitching has been a surprise.
Yeah, their pitching has been very, very good. Paddock is absolutely unstoppable, and I love him.
There's something
He
special
is
about
relentless.
Texan pitchers. I love Texan pitchers.
Very specific.
It's true though. They all have a kind of air about because like Nolan Ryan, and even when you have even Nathan Eovaldi, who I'm not a big fan of, but like he has a certain kind of presence on the mound where like you don't fuck with that guy. And I think Paddock has a lot of that Texan pitcher's swagger because I think ever since Nolan Ryan, pitching in Texas is kind of a big deal. Like it's a thing to be a pitcher from the Lone Star State. So I think they all kind of have a swag about them,
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think, like, I was going to ask you what your, like, stereotype Texas pitcher would be, but, like, Nolan Ryan is exactly that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Corn, shall I take you through some batting stats here?
Take me on a journey.
Which team do you think leads the majors in OPS plus currently?
The Dodgers, because Cody Bellinger is carrying them.
So the Dodgers are actually tied for fourth with Atlanta of all teams.
Okay.
It's
Can I get a
currently
second
being led.
guess?
Sure, go ahead.
Fuck, now I don't know. I'm second guessing myself.
Oh,
Fuck,
this
I'll
is
go with
a
like the
second guess.
Brewers.
The Brew Crew is where even are they? They're farther down the list. They have an OPS plus of 102, so they're just above average. It's It's harder for NL teams to be higher up, just because of the pitchers. Yeah, but there are a few like the Dodgers and the Braves and St. Louis and Chicago. But the top team is Seattle still, 119 OPS plus.
Been a good guess.
Followed
that should have been my guess because they've just been hitting dongs every game.
That they have. Do they lead the league in home runs? Yes, they do. 60 of them. Followed by the Milwaukee Brewers with 59. The second place team for OPS plus is the Minnesota Twins, and then the third place team is Houston, Minnesota with a 118 OPS plus, and the Astros with a 117 OPS plus. Who do you think's at the bottom of this list?
Who has the worst OPS plus? I'll say the Reds.
You're close. They're second to worst.
Then how about the Marlins?
They're fourth worst. The worst team by OPS plus is the San Francisco Giants at 67.
Good one.
Then it's the Cincinnati Reds at 69, and then it's the Cleveland Indians at 70. Yeah, they have not been good.
They've been exceptionally bad. I mean, now that Frankie's back and Jose Ramirez is showing signs of life, I don't think it's going to stay that way for very long. But outside of those two guys, their offense is quite bad.
Yeah, we're still at a point in the season where like one good week from them will put them probably closer to 100 than anything else. So I wouldn't be overly worried. What team do you think leads the league in triples right now?
I'm going to say the Minnesota Twins.
No, they are. What was it like? Somewhere between 8 and 10. I don't feel like counting right now.
Okay, I know like Jorge Polanco has hit like 3 or 4 of them so far. So
it is the Kansas City Royals because their whole deal this season is speed.
Speed, yeah.
Yeah, so they have 17 triples.
Actually, I'll look it up. I want to see how many Mondesi has.
Adalberto Mondesi, one of my favorite baseball names.
It is pretty great.
That's such a baseball name too, Adalberto Mondesi. Yeah.
Okay.
There are what?
Leads the majors right now. What would your guess be for triples?
I want to pick someone on the Royals. Is it someone on the Royals?
Yes.
Is it what's his fucking face? Billy Hamilton?
No, we were literally like I looked up Alberto Mondesi's stats.
Oh, so I thought you looked up
him.
Okay.
No. I just looked up his.
I thought you were trying to trick me. That's why I didn't pick him.
No, I was asking how many you think he hit so far.
5.
He hit 5. Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at this.
And then Jorge Polanco has hit 4.
That's fucking crazy, man. So yeah, just to finish it out, the Royals have 17, the Rays have 12, and the Rockies have 11. Which I guess maybe that makes sense because their outfield's so fucking big. But those are the only teams above 10. And the only teams to not have hit any are Miami and Cleveland. Everyone else has at least one.
That sounds very to character right now.
Real quick, who do you think has... I already said who has the most home runs. Who do you think has the fewest home runs so far?
I'll go with the Reds. No, I'll go with the Giants.
Giants was a good guess. They are 4th. It's Detroit at 21 home runs on the season. That's
really?
Not, yeah, that's how the kids say not good.
I probably would not have guessed them.
Now I have an interesting one for you.
Okay.
What team do you think leads the league in men left on base? And we could talk about this a little bit.
Fucking man, I have no idea. The Yankees?
No, the Yankees are more towards the middle of this list. It's Atlanta. Atlanta has left 242 men on base, followed by the Mets at 240. So, now the reason that's interesting is that men left on base, I mean, basically that means that you had people got there and then no one was able to drive them in. So your offense had a level of production, but wasn't able to actually drive those runs across. And those are two teams currently vying for that division, but not currently leading it. So it'll be interesting to see if they can figure out a way to improve this particular stat, because this is one of the things I think that leads teams to get fucked the most, because it's such a killer to see your team get like first and second and then no one scores, you know?
Right.
Where if you can just get one of those dudes across every now and then, even if you have or it's like first and third and you can get a sack fly in there, that's a big change. That's a big change. Like, this is not something you want to lead the league in. So it's good that they're having traffic on the base paths, but I'll be curious to see if this is something that improves along with these teams' records.
I mean, it's not like their offense has been bad all around. They've been having a good year.
No, both these teams are having decent offensive seasons. In terms of hitting, but they're both no, I guess the Mets are one game above 500. Atlanta, I think, is one game below 500 right now. So I'm just wondering if this is going to come into play if should either one of these teams move into first in the division over the Phillies. You know?
It'll be close.
Actually, it's interesting. The bottom three teams in runners left, men left on base, fewest is a tie between Minnesota and San Diego, and then it's Cincinnati, and then it's San Francisco. So what I think we're seeing here is it's interesting. We have two good offenses between San Diego and Minnesota, and then two bad offenses between Cincinnati and San Francisco. So chances are Minnesota and San Diego are actually scoring their runners, and Cincinnati and San Francisco just aren't getting any runners. So
they will tonight. Senzel, baby. Woohoo.
Yeah, Nick Senzel. Any other offensive stats you'd like to hear about before we jump over to team pitching?
Strikeouts.
Sure. The league leader is that's not a surprise at all. Seattle, 329, most of the majors, followed by Milwaukee at 314 and San Diego at 308. The team striking out the least, shockingly enough, is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, 186, followed by Minnesota at 214, followed by a tie between Oakland and Houston at 241. So, yeah, Angels not striking out, not scoring a bunch of runs, but not striking out either. I guess that's good. Yeah.
I read an article the other day about Angels hitter David Fletcher, who I actually have on my fantasy team, which is why I read it. But do you know what his contact rate is?
Is it like really high or really low?
Really high.
Contact rate. 85%.
So for those of you that don't know, contact rate is how often you swing the bat and make contact with the ball, regardless of whether it's a hit, a foul ball, pop fly, all that jazz. So his contact rate, let me just look it up for posterity. We should get some Jeopardy music in here.
Even though you're just saying, isn't that Indiana Jones?
Yes. His contact rate is 97%.
That's really fucking high. That's
astronomically
elite.
High.
That is elite.
No, like that is so far past elite. Like I wish they had like a contact rate plus, so we could actually see like where he compares. But oh well. That's all I had to say.
How many plate appearances does the guy have? I don't know his name.
David Fletcher. He's been starting pretty consistently for them this year. He has 91 at bats.
Oh, okay. That is not insignificant.
98 plate appearances.
Cool. Yeah, no, then he's probably on pace to have the whole gambit of them. All right, let's move on to pitching. What team do you think leads MLB in ERA?
It was the Pirates for a while. Who else has been really great? I don't know.
The Rays.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, their ERA a few weeks ago was like 1 point something. It's now currently 3.07. I've been checking on this every now and then out of curiosity. So 3.7 is still really good, but this is kind of what I said. Like, they started off the season with like shutouts galore and winning a bunch of like games, whatever they scored to 1, which is why their ERA was so comically low. So now it's basically doubled. Still really good, but it's trending upwards. I'm not saying it's going to trend up forever. That's foolish. They're still a very, very good baseball team, chock full of very, very good pitchers. But this is about what I'm expecting. You tend to see pitching erode a little bit for pitching-dependent teams, I should say. In second place is the Cincinnati Reds, of all teams, with 3.21 ERA, and then Toronto at 3.46. The 3 worst teams.
Really good.
Yeah, I know, right? Go Marcus Stroman. He's my guy. The 3 worst teams.
Isn't he on the IL now?
I don't know. I haven't kept track, honestly.
You go ahead.
Baltimore at 5.89, Texas at 5.49, and Chicago White Sox at 5.27. No surprises there. And if you moved it down to who has the 4th worst ERA in baseball, it's not the Kansas City Royals. It's not the Oakland Athletics. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. 5.20.
Oof, that's rough.
That's how
are the Athletics on there?
They are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th worst with 470.
Not great. Not great at all.
Yep, not ideal. The team that's given up the most home runs. This is the least surprising answer. Yep, it's Baltimore by so much. 74 home runs given up.
I would be ashamed if I did not get that one right at least.
How many home runs do you think second place has given up?
27.
All right, so
that's
no.
way too low. That's
yeah,
way too low.
27 is second best in baseball.
Yeah, that was way too low.
So 55, and that's the Milwaukee Brewers. They've given up a ton of home runs this season.
Josh Hader, he's given up like 3 or 4 already.
Yeah, but that 3 or 4 is not bad for one pitcher.
Well, for like your ace level closer.
Honestly, I think you'd still take that. Most of those are going to be solo. Most of those are going to be solo shots because of the
like it all just
work.
It all kind of happened like in like a 3-4 game span like last week, so it's just kind of recent in the mind.
That's what happens, man, when you rely on four-seamers. I'm telling you, you can't be a fastball pitcher for life. Hader's still good, and I'm going to maintain that he's going to be good all season, but you can't be a four-seamer for life. You got to eventually learn a new fucking pitch. Anyway, the 3 best teams is in a shocking list. The Cincinnati Reds have given up the fewest home runs this season, 22. Cleveland Indians have given up 27, and the Pittsburgh Pirates have only given up 29. Those are the 3. That's the 3 best in baseball.
I'm actually not surprised by Cleveland and the Pirates. None of the Pirates, like all the Pirates pitchers, are very soft contact heavy. And I mean, I feel like really only Tyone has given up any big numbers like that this year. But Cleveland for sure, like their pitching has been great until now. 40% of them are hurt. But yeah, I am very surprised by the Reds.
Yeah. I guess their problem really is just hitting. So that makes sense as to why they're calling up Nick Senzel and try to inject some life into that offense. So let's do WHIP, because WHIP's always a fun one. For anyone who is unaware, WHIP is walks and hits per inning pitched. So you take walks, you add hits, and then you divide it by number of innings pitched. This is basically just a way of keeping track of how much traffic is on the bases in a given inning. So what's a league average this season is 1.316, which means in one inning you are likely to give up 1 1/3 base runners. So over the course of a 9-inning game, you would have 1 1/3 base runners per inning on average. So obviously the higher this number is, the worse it is. You want this number to be low. Which team do you think has the highest WHIP?
I'll go out on a limb and say the Orioles.
They are in second. The league leader right now is Texas Rangers, 1.554 walks and hits per inning pitched, which if you did that over a 9-inning game would be 14 base runners in the game, which is
that's bad.
That is not good.
That is real bad.
Then comes Baltimore, and then comes Chicago White Sox, with again in fourth place being Milwaukee. So their problem is pitching. Who do you think, my friend, has the lowest WHIP?
Tampa?
Tampa is second by a very, very slim margin. It's actually Houston with a 1.040 WHIP, which if you do that over 9 innings is 9.3 base runners in a 9-inning game, which is a full 5-ish base runners less than Texas would have, and that's a big difference.
Yeah, that spread out over 162 games is going to give you quite a bit of a difference in total hits and eventually runs scored.
I did 4.5.
That's a lot.
So let's call the difference between Houston and Texas. Oh, that's a stupid sentence. Let's call the difference between the Astros and the Rangers. 4.5 base runners per game over 162 games. That is 729 base runners.
Holy shit!
Like that's so fucking much. That's fucking much.
Really, really bad.
And that's why WHIP is an interesting thing to look at because I mean, base runners. The more base runners you have, the more runs tend to get scored either on you or for you. So you want to limit that damage. Now, an interesting stat to go for in pitching is one we actually just did for batting, left on base. Which team do you think has left the fewest runners on base?
I guess I'll go Houston.
Yeah, it's Houston because they rarely allow them, so they don't have a lot of guys to leave on base. Houston leads this category with 165 runners left on base, followed by Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. This is pretty much the WHIP leaders. If we go down to the bottom of this list, it's actually not Texas leading in this category. It's now Seattle with 240 runners left on base, followed by Oakland and Colorado, 3 teams we've seen experience some trouble with pitching this season, and that's probably so they lead this category probably because everyone's on base all the time, so eventually they're going to be left there. Whether it's before runners score or after.
Right. What is the Cleveland Indians at?
For left on base?
Yeah.
They are at 199, tied with the Chicago Cubs. That puts them in the top 10, but again, I don't feel like counting, so I don't know where.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no one wants to sit here and listen to me count.
I am kind of scared to see what their, starting 5 turns into with all these injuries.
Well, you did predict that all 5 of them would go for 200 strikeouts, so I don't know, Corwin. Outside of Trevor Bauer, my prediction of no Cleveland Indians pitcher finishing top 5 is looking pretty nice right now. Outside of Bauer,
they were all on pace to do it until they decided not to be healthy enough to play baseball anymore.
No one's on pace for shit this early in the season. Fuck out of here with that.
See. There's time left.
Christian Yelich was on pace for like 90 home runs. All right, let's calm it down.
Yeah, we'll see.
Are there any other team pitching stats you would like to hear before we move on?
No. But yeah, let me hear FIP. I want to hear what team, if anyone's being extremely unlucky in that department.
FIP is fielding independent pitching, so you take away things like errors and basically anything that involves defense. It's kind of like almost like the 3 true outcomes version of ERA. So it's basically just what's within the pitcher's control. The way they do it is it's 13 as a constant times home runs plus 3 times walks plus hit by pitches minus 2 times strikeouts, and then all of that divided by innings pitched plus some constant that makes it look more like ERA. Because without that constant, it wouldn't look like ERA. The point is to keep it looking like the other stats that it is often compared to. So the team with the lowest FIP, which is good, you want a low FIP, it's just like ERA, is 3.36 owned by the Cincinnati Reds, followed by 3.39 for the Tampa Bay Rays and 3.57 for the Cleveland Indians. So 3 teams we've seen appear at the at the top of the pitching stats plenty so far today.
Yeah, no surprises there.
The three worst teams, again, will be no surprise. It's Baltimore at 6.2, Texas at 5.24, and Milwaukee at 5.03.
I'm just looking up the Reds starting pitchers.
And they're doing all of this with Alex Wood on the IL, too.
Yeah. So Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle.
I think it's Malley.
Anthony DeScalfani, Sonny Gray, and Tanner Roark.
Yeah, I mean those
The
are
highest
those are
ERA
good
on the
pitchers.
team is 4.09.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad at all.
Not bad at all. I mean, Luis Castillo has a ERA of 1.45.
Castillo, my friend. Castillo.
All right.
It's
I am
Spanish.
not good with the Spanish names. I don't speak Spanish.
But I think we all know that like the two L's next to each other makes the Y sound.
I have never.
How do you
taken
pronounce
Spanish.
tortilla?
Tortilla.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
In all honesty, I have not taken a single year of Spanish in my life.
Neither have I.
Well, fuck out of here.
Lick my
Next
nuggets.
time we talk hockey, I'll throw out those French names.
Yeah, sure thing, pal. And when we talk about Roman generals, I'll bust out my Latin. All right. What player do you think leads the MLB in OWAR, offensive wins above replacement?
Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger,
By a
2.8.
significant margin.
Who do you think leads in
Who's the next
DWAR,
highest?
defensive WAR?
Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman had that error, so I'll go Simmons on the Angels.
Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain of Milwaukee is 1.1 DWAR right now. Cody Bellinger leads the majors in overall wins above replacement at 3.8, so he must not be far behind Locaine for DWAR. Oh, I guess base running also factors into it somewhere.
Can you see like the top 5 of
No.
those? Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. So much of this is Cody Bellinger right now. Like batting average, Cody Bellinger leads it with 425. On base, he's at 500. Slugging, he's at 860. Like he's leading the league in everything. Who do you think has the most doubles?
Cody Bellinger.
No, I'm trying to find non-Cody Bellinger stats.
All right, then I'll go with Jorge Polanco.
Paul DeJong of St. Louis. This is going to be this is a layup, my friend. I'm going to be upset if you don't get this one. Who do you think leads the league in walks?
Joey Votto.
Oh, pal, Mike Trout.
But it's Joey Votto.
Yeah, but he's having a rough year. Mike Trout's walked
Yeah,
more
he's
so
having a rough
far
year.
than he has in his entire career. He's been walked a ton this season.
Well, I'll be honest. I think I've watched one Angels game so far this year. So
I have watched the ones
not
they
seen a
played
lot of them.
against the Yankees, and that's been it.
fair enough.
Who do you think has the most? Fuck, these stats are just so specific now. Who do you think has who's the lowest?
xWOBA?
That's going to be a Fangraphs stat, not a baseball reference stat. Who has the lowest ERA in the majors right now?
Ooh, the lowest ERA. Is there a innings limit, or are we just going to go with like starters?
I'm sure there is an innings cutoff somewhere here, but I can tell you this guy's not a starter.
He's not a starter.
No.
Oh, who's been the best? Shane Green.
Shane Green of the Detroit Tigers, former Yankee. Oh wait, is this guy a starter? Was I wrong? Oh, he is a starter. My bad. Fuck. I didn't realize he was a starter. Oh, it's because he was hurt so much last year. No, Zach Davies.
Oh, from Milwaukee.
Yeah. Yeah, 1.38. Who do you think is the most WAR for a pitcher?
Luis Castillo.
Yeah, Luis Castillo, 2.2. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Trevor Bauer has the most innings pitched at 47.7. fucking anything else. Marco Gonzalez has given up the most hits with 50. Yeah, Zach Davies has the highest adjusted ERA plus, which makes sense because he has the lowest ERA. So his ERA plus is 3.17, which is fucking comical. That's not going to last.
32.2 innings for Zach Davies. He's given up 5 earned runs.
Some would say he's having a bomb-ass season right now.
He also only has 21 strikeouts in 32 and 2/3 innings, which is not great.
Yeah, so he's probably getting lucky as shit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
His
FIP is a 3.92.
Oh, so yeah, that ERA is coming up. When you're looking at FIP as compared to ERA, you're looking mostly at the difference between the two. If they're relatively close, that means that it's probably pretty accurate. What's happening to the pitcher is what he earns. Whereas if they're very disparate, it means that there's some kind of disconnect that will eventually kind of reset back to the average. So with Zach Davies, he has such a low ERA as compared to a higher but still very good FIP. But that almost full 2 discrepancy between the two means that he's likely to go up to meet his FIP. That's not going to come down. FIP is usually the more reliable one. So if he had like a 5 ERA as compared to like a 3 FIP, his ERA would be likely to come down to match his FIP eventually at 3. Any other stats you'd like to look at for this first month?
Like last year, Blake Snell had an ERA of 1.89 and a FIP of just under 3. So it's over 1 full point difference between the two.
And the last year, the Rays had good defense.
I just was curious. Yeah, they had great defense.
Any other stats you'd like to look at?
Kiermaier's coming back?
No, I'll ask him.
Yeah, just shoot him a text.
Yo, baby, when you come over to suck this dick tonight. No.
Oh, that was something right there. That was a statement.
Yeah, what can I say? Kiermaier loves giving head.
Oh, yikes. Yikes.
Jinkies, my friend. Any other stats you'd like to talk about before we wrap this up?
Who is leading the league in walks?
We talked about that already.
We talked about whip. We didn't really talk about walks.
Oh, you meant for pitchers?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, dude, I just gave you shit for not saying it was Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Which pitcher has led up the most walks? Based on ball. Oh, it's a tie between 2 players at 23, but it won't tell me which 2 players. It's not a blue link. That's a shame.
That's really
but it's 2 people tied at 23.
Let's jump over to Baseball Reference, leaders, and something. Full index. Walks. Oh my god, this is so hard to find. That's whip.
So they're probably both in the American League because the National League leader is Yu Darvish at 22. So it's going to be American League. It's a tie between Trevor Bauer and Brad Keller.
Okay.
Both of which have 23. Which makes sense for Bauer because he also leads the league in innings pitched. Yeah. He has 47.7 innings. Although 23 walks in 47 innings is not very good. That's actually rather high. That's something to keep an eye on. That's
how many?
No, Brad Keller sucks. So like him having 23. So Brad Keller having 23 walks is Brad Keller having 23 walks isn't surprising because he's not a good pitcher. Trevor Bauer having 23 walks at this point in the season is pretty surprising because he is a strikeout guy, and 23 walks would be a lot for him for a longer stretch of time than this. I'm wondering if he's just not getting calls his way this season so far.
I've actually watched him a couple times. He's basically just missing balls just right out of the zone.
That happens with strikeout artists.
Yeah, so I mean that'll go down. I mean he's almost pitched 50 innings already, so it's not like it's a crazy high number where it's like 1 per inning or something wild. But it's still a lot, but it'll come down.
Yeah, his walks per 9 is 4.3, which is above his average. But he has 55 strikeouts, which is really good. He's averaging, so he's at 10.4 strikeouts per 9, which is above his average as well. So it's probably just a result of him pitching a lot and getting some relatively shitty calls. But with his 2.45 ERA and his 3.54 WHIP, he's doing fine. Like, yeah, he's good.
You want to guess who has the lowest walks per 9 innings pitched?
Lowest walks per 9? That's a great question. Who's been killing it this season? Justin Verlander.
Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Dodgers.
Oh, okay. Very
He's
cool.
averaging just about half a walk per inning, or per 9 innings pitched, which is crazy.
Good for him. So he's probably got like 2 walks on the season.
Yeah.
Oh,
Killed
it. I'm crushing the game right now.
2019 walk 2.
We good.
35 innings pitched.
All right, I say we get out of here because now we're just kind of rambling.
Yeah, we're just going off.
But this is the joy of baseball. We got another baseball episode for you on Thursday. Get ready, folks. It's gonna be a good one.
What is it, Josh?
I ain't fucking telling you. You're gonna have to find. You're gonna have to listen. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial.
Fuck. I have to look it up.
Don't change the station. Anyway, if you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to find us, hit us up via Gmail. You can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And if you want to check out our website, you can do so at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And we'll hit you guys up on Thursday. Until then, y'all be good out there.
Bye.